Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for some Saw in Half combo. And I'm super excited for this deck because Saw in Half, for my money, is one of the coolest spells that Wizards has printed in a long time, but we've never really gotten to play it outside of Commander, but it just finally came to Magic Arena. So today, we're gonna see if we can combo off with Saw in Half. And if you don't know Saw in Half, it's a 3-mana instant that destroys a creature, but the creature's controller gets 2 token copies of that creature, with their stats being essentially half of the original rounded up. So Saw in Half, it seems like a removal spell, but you don't really want to use it like a removal spell, because if you cast it on your opponent's creature, they get 2 slightly smaller versions of that creature rather than losing their creature. So what Saw in Half actually is a combo piece. So how do you go infinite with Saw in Half? And we actually have 2 different plans. So plan 1, Saw in Half with Dualcaster Mage. Dualcaster Mage, a 3-mana 2/2 with flash, so when it enters, you can copy an instant or sorcery spell. So the idea of this combo, we cast a Saw in Half targeting any random thing on the battlefield, and then we flash in Dualcaster Mage with the Saw in Half still on the stack before it resolves. Then the Dualcaster Mage copies the Saw in Half, so we get a new Saw in Half that can destroy the Dualcaster Mage, which gives us 2 Dualcaster Mages, which copy the Saw in Half to copy the Dualcaster Mage to copy the Saw in Half to blow up the Dualcaster Mage. The end result of this is essentially Splinter Twin, where we make infinite copies of Dualcaster Mage because we blow up 1 each time through the loop, but make 2 each time through the loop. We also can make infinite copies of any other creature we control and potentially make infinite copies of a spell on the stack, because every time we do this, we get 2 Dualcasters, but only one of them actually has to target the Saw in Half to keep the combo going. So that's the plan of the deck. Basically, Saw in Half, Dualcaster Mage, Splinter Twin. The second combo in the deck, Pinnacle Monk, Sacrifice, and Saw in Half. So this combo, Pinnacle Monk, a 5-drop MDFC that when it enters, returns an instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. Sacrifice lets you sack one of your creatures to make black mana equal to its mana value. So the idea is you get down a Pinnacle Monk, then we can Saw in Half to blow up the Pinnacle Monk to get 2 Pinnacle Monks. When the Pinnacle Monk enters, we can get back the Saw in Half to our hand. Then we can sacrifice one of the Pinnacle Monks to make 5 mana, spend 2 of that mana on the Saw in Half to blow up the Pinnacle Monk. We get 2 new Pinnacle Monks, which get back the Saw in Half and the sacrifice. Then we sacrifice one of them to make 5 mana, Saw in Half for 3 mana, do it again. Essentially, every time through this loop, we're generating a mana, which means eventually we're not going to have to spend mana on sacrifice to keep casting the Saw in Halves, which means eventually we make infinite Pinnacle Monks, which again, just like Splinter Twin, can attack and win the game. And we can also do this all at instant speed. One of the big upsides of both of these combos is they're instant speed combos, so we can do this on our opponent's end step, and then we just untap and swing right away, so we don't got to worry about Wrath or sorcery speed removal or whatever. So that's the plan of the deck. We also have a couple of value cards that almost but don't quite go infinite in Cormella, Glamour Theft, and Ardent Elementalist. These are both just one-ofs, and they're good value at getting our spells back from our graveyard to our hand, and they're very close to going infinite, but not quite. Cormella, when it dies, we can return an instant or sorcery from our graveyard to our hand, and it can tap to make 3 mana by paying 1 mana, but only for instant or sorceries. So it would go infinite with Saw in Half if it wasn't for the fact that it was legendary, because when we Saw in Half it, we get 2 of them, but we gotta sack 1 to the legend rule, so we can't ever keep 2 of them on the battlefield, otherwise it would go infinite, just like we can with Pinnacle Monk. Ardent Elementalist, oddly, because it's 4 mana instead of 5 mana, we can do the same Pinnacle Monk trick, but we don't generate extra mana, we just go equal on mana, so we make like infinite storm count, I guess, which doesn't really do anything in our deck, but mostly these cards are just in the deck for value. We also have a ton of ways to find our combo pieces. Gamble can find any of our combo pieces, but it's kind of risky because we're going to have to discard a card at random, although because our deck is so good at getting spells back from our graveyard, if we gamble for something like Saw in Half, a lot of times we don't care if we discard it because we have so many Carmellas and Ardent Elementalists in the Pinnacle Monks that can just get it back from our graveyard anyway. So once we go to combo, we can usually just get it back in our hand. So it's kind of like a hard tutor a lot of the time. Solve the Equation just snags the instant or sorcery. Faithless Looting, Fable the Mirror Breaker just draw through our deck to find our combo pieces. For interaction, Fatal Push and Thoughtseize to pick our opponent's hand apart to kill their creatures. Mana base, pretty straightforward. A bunch of dual lands, a Triome, 1 Mistrise Village for counter spells. And that is Saw in Half combo. And that's our deck for today. So let's jump into some games and see just how easy it is to go infinite with Saw in Half. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap-up. Need some Magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Want to help out the channel? Well, you can snag these super sweet new dice, playmats, tokens, and more over at mtggoldfishmerch.com. It is time to do some sawing in half. We're playing some saw in half combo today, and I'm excited to see if this can work. I've never really gotten to play with saw in half before, because it's not modern legal, but now we have it on Arena, so, well, I mean, we have the combo. To combo with Dualcaster Mage, we do need 6 mana, although, in theory, these Fable of the Mirror Breakers can ramp us up to 6 mana. Opponent, Boros, Impact Tremors. What are you up to, Daddy Warbucks? Let's get down to Fable. I don't know if Impact Tremors is a combo piece, or if they're just kind of playing it fairly. We will have to see. Well, opponent, land, and Urabras Forge. Okay, so this is some sort of like Boros token deck by the look. Opponent, gonna make a token, gonna ping us, and pass the turn. Gamble, eh? Oh, are we gambling for a land? Actually, we don't even need it, right? Let's pitch the gamble and pitch one of the Fables. I mean, I think... Oh, sacrifice. Okay, so we can definitely do it next turn, because we can sacrifice the Fable once it flips to make 3 mana to basically build a Dark Ritual that's legal in this format. Well, grab a mountain. Let's do a little Thought Seize and make sure there's not any removal that's going to disrupt us. Opponent. Oh, double One Ring. Okay. All right, so we're going to have to maneuver around double One Ring. I mean, we can combo on our opponent's end step. So I think we take one of the One Rings, play another Fable. Presumably our opponent's going to go land One Ring. And then we let the protection wear off. Yeah, there's the One Ring. Let the protection wear off. Go infinite on our opponent's end step. The question's going to be the Doomscar. If they main phase the Doomscar, opponent going to make the token, going to ping us down to 15, going to attack us down to 13. Sure. This is actually going to be interesting. Depending on how our opponent plays the Doomscar, they might be able to, well, actually, because we do need a creature on the battlefield to target with the saw in half. So if they just Wrath main phase, there won't be a creature on the battlefield. Well, let's get it. Let's make a couple of tokens. Our opponent, though, might not feel, they're at 18. They might not feel like they need to Wrath yet. We already have all the mana. Opponent untaps. Protection wears off. Gonna play the land. Gonna draw with the ring. Sure. Ooh, wait. That means they're not Doomscarring. Okay. Opponent's going to plot the Doomscar, or foretell the Doomscar. All right, so, I mean, we should be good. Opponent, Urabras Forge, gonna make a token. Yes. Combat. I mean, we'll just take it down to 9. And, I mean, it should be combo time. So, here's the combo. We saw in half something, which is going to be our Reflections of Kiki-Jiki. Before this on half resolves, Dualcaster Mage, copy this on half. So now our opponent needs an instant speed removal spell to kill the Dualcaster Mage right now before the copy happens. Copy this on half. All right, Splinter Twin time. Saw in half, the Dualcaster Mage. Get 2 more Dualcaster Mages. Copy this on half, copy this on half. And we will just hit a Dualcaster Mage and do it again. And all we gotta do is do this enough times to to make 18 power worth of creatures untap and attack. It's basically Splinter Twin. It's basically Splinter Twin. It's Saw in half Twin. Well, I'll copy it. I mean, we could also, it's not really necessary here, but we can also copy, like, so every time we go through the loop, we get 2 Saw in halves, right? Because we get 2 Dualcasters. So we only really need to spend 1 on the Dualcaster. So we could also, like, make infinite Reflections of Kiki-Jiki, infinite Goblin tokens, whatever else we happen to have on the battlefield. And opponent, gonna scoop it up, sees what's happening, and all right, well, that is one of our Saw in half combos. Working, even at top 2000 Mythic. In this hand, ooh, all right, Pinnacle Monk action. I mean, we're gonna keep this. We might have to take a gamble or 2, but I think we just play up against Yariane. Let's just play Pinnacle Monk tapped. Opponent. Boros. Ooh, there's Saw in half. Okay. Getting closer. Well, that's Faithless Looting. A couple of lands, eh? Let's pitch the gamble for now. Oh, I wish I knew more of what our opponent was doing. I guess we just pitch a land. It might be a matchup where we can pitch the Fatal Push, but we don't know yet. Well, that's Thought Seize you. Oh, God. Okay. Well, I'm glad we didn't pitch the Fatal Push. Well, take one of the two light paws. We have the fatal push for the second light pause. Found it. Gonna go with an Amped Raptor. Everyone plays Amped Raptor. It is wild how much play Amped Raptor sees in this format. Spin it to win it, spin it to win it, into a Sheltered by Ghost that doesn't do much. Well, there's a sacrifice. Can we Faithless Looting here? I think we're going to. This does give them one turn with light pause. I think we go pitch sacrifice, pitch gamble. Pass the turn. So we can get back the sacrifice with the Pinnacle Monk. Well, let's see how bad this is. Pound it, light pause. And we know they got the hammer hand at least. Yeah, there's the hammer hand on the light pause. Gets another aura. I mean, we can kill it. So Pinnacle Monk does go infinite, but we also need kind of 6 mana to start the loop. Well, let's play Pinnacle Monk as a land. Fatal push, get rid of the light pause. I mean, we're still at 9. We're not dead yet. We're not dead yet. Can we live long enough is the question. We need like 2 more turns and to draw. Oh, no. Oh, third light pause off the top. And Amped Raptor, spin it to win it into a, oh god, Ethereal Armor. Yeah. The problem with that Saw in Half is it's not a great removal spell on our opponent's creatures because it actually helps them. And we're gonna be too slow. Ooh, Carmella, an Ardent Elementalist. We haven't seen those yet. Okay, so Carmella doesn't actually go fully infinite. Hopeless Nightmare. Doesn't go fully infinite, but it is a good value card. Ardent Elementalist does actually go infinite. Let's just play the tap land. Not sure what we're gambling for yet. Xander's Lounge, eh? Well, play the Xander's Lounge, pass the turn. Opponent, Hopeless Nightmare, and then nothing. Opponent, land go. Well, let's get down the Fable of the Mirror Breaker, the card that makes everything better. It is kind of funny, just like, I feel like every deck we play, combo deck, mid-range deck, once we're playing like Historic or Pioneer, it just makes every deck better. We probably don't need 3 gambles. That's a little excessive. I'm not that much of a gambler. Oh no. That said, we might be gambling for a fatal push here. Just how we drew it up. Gambling for a fatal push is so bad and risky, but we gotta kill this thing. Don't discard it. Okay, we discard one of the Pinnacle Monks. That is fine. Crack the fetch to trigger Revolt. This does also mean we're not playing Carmella this turn, which is awkward. We would have liked to play Carmella, but I'm just too scared of getting comboed if there's a Bloodletter out. When I see a Bloodletter, I automatically expect, like, some sort of combo is going to make me die. Get in with a Goblin, make a treasure. Opponent, land. The One Ring. All right, opponent's going to draw some cards. Get a little protection. Sure. We draw more Fatal Pushes. We flip the Fable. So to combo with Pinnacle Monk, we need to find a sacrifice, and we need the Saw in Half if we're going to combo with anything. I guess we just get down the Carmella to ramp us, and we'll get in with the Goblin. Doesn't deal any damage, but treasure is good. The scary part about this is our opponent's going to be drawing a lot of cards. Do we want to gamble? It might be worth gambling. We're kind of okay with pitching either of these. I think we just grab the Saw in Half. Okay, we discard it, but that's okay. That's okay. Part of the reason gamble works in this deck is we have a lot of ways to get our spells back. So even though we pitch the Saw in Half, we got the Carmella, we got the Pinnacle Monk, so we can get it back in hand. Opponent gonna draw with the ring, gonna play another land, and make us discard. Sure, we will get rid of the Fatal Push. Don't really need that. Can you get rid of our Pinnacle Monk? All right, opponent going to go for the Throat, the Reflection. We draw another Pinnacle Monk. Let's get in with a Goblin so we get our mana. And then we can play a Pinnacle Monk. Get back the Saw in Half. So this isn't infinite, but we can make mana with Carmella and like Saw in Half the Pinnacle Monk to make 2 Pinnacle Monks. Sheoldred, okay. Well, thankfully our combo, when we go infinite, is going to deal infinite damage, even though our opponent is going to gain a bunch of life with the Sheoldred. Back up to 19, sure. And going to make us discard. Let's do this now. So, Carmella, make 3 mana, Saw in Half, hit the Pinnacle Monk. This is going to get us another, well, assuming this works. They can't Fatal Push it, so it should work. All right, they're going to cut down the Goblin token. We don't care. That's fine. So this is going to get us 2 Pinnacle Monk triggers. So we get to get back 2 spells. One is going to be the Saw in Half. The other will be a Fatal Push. And then we'll get rid of the Pinnacle Monk. And then we should be able to use this to kill the Sheoldred if we need to. So we draw a land. Get drained down to 15. Sure. I mean, this might just be the attempt at the value win. Through our opponent who has a 1 ring going like crazy. They have drawn, what, 6 cards so far with the ring, and we're somehow in this. So, Saw in Half. Let's blow up a Pinnacle Monk. Get 2 Pinnacle Monks. Get back a Gamble and a Saw in Half. And now we can... Man, if we gamble for sacrifice, we still don't have enough mana, right? We're 1 mana short because of the tap land. All right, so I think we just got to kill Sheoldred. Kill Sheoldred. Chip in for some damage. Pitch it down to 15. Do we play the land? Yeah, play the land. Pass the turn. Next turn, maybe. Next turn, maybe with this gamble. We might be able to set up the sacrifice loop. Opponent, 1 ring. Gonna draw 4 more cards. And Hopeless Nightmare. Gonna get rid of, gotta be the gamble, sadly. I mean, as long as we still have this on half, we can make more. Oh, no. Okay, opponent. Yeah, gonna get rid of the Saw in Half. And Liliana, sure. Wait, can we just win, though? If they tick down, we can Cormella. Oh, I think our opponent's gonna die here. This kills the Cormella. We get to get a spell back to our hand, which gonna be the Saw in Half. Always the Saw in Half. And opponent gonna level up the Bandit's talent. Sure, gonna pick us for 1. Oh, Faithless Looting is huge. Wait, can we pump them enough to win? We can pump them enough to win. Faithless Looting. Draw 2, discard 2. And opponent sees what's happening. Our opponent drew 10 cards with the ring. We didn't find our combo, but we still got him. Cormella power. I mean, we got the Dual Caster. We can solve the equation to get the Saw in Half. We got the Elementalist if we find Sacrifice. I mean, it seems fine. Seems reasonable. The only downside of the Dual Caster combo is we do need, as I mentioned before, 6 mana. So we're not super close to doing it immediately. Upside of Dual Caster combo is we get to do it on our opponent's end step, which lets us play around. Sorcery speed removal and kind of win the turn weak combo. I know technically it's not the turn weak combo, but for practical purposes, end step combos basically like winning the same turn that you combo. Island, and piece it together. Okay. So draw a card. If you cast the 4th one, you also get an extra turn. Alchemy cards. Well, I don't know what our opponent's up to. I've never seen anyone play that card before. I do know that all those, like, Intensify cards tend to be pretty busted. But that's not one that I normally see. Opponent. Land. Oh, no. 2 of them. Okay. I mean, if they actually just get to taking extra turns with that, we're, like, in serious trouble. Tap land, go. What are they a turn stack? Basic Mountain. Well, Blackleaf Cliffs, and they might have a counter, but okay. No counter. Fable the Mirror Breaker. The ramp from Fable is actually really huge in this deck. Like, just getting up to 6 mana for Dual Caster is really big. Opponent, land, and Narset Master, or Narset of the Ancient Way. Okay. So I can kill the Goblin, or what, gain life and make a mana for spells. Opponent's gonna tick up. Sure. And pass. Well, Thoughtseize is not bad. Let's discard the Fatal Push. This doesn't seem like a Fatal Push matchup. Maybe just that. Yeah, we can get rid of the Elementalist. I think we're in on the Dual Caster here. And plus we found a Pinnacle Monk anyway. We'll go to combat. Hit the Narset. Down to 3. Let's Thoughtseize. See what we're actually up against. Oh, God. Okay. Temporal Trespass. 2 Gideons. So, and Book of Exalted Deed. So, our opponent, I don't know about this mana base for casting a Book of Exalted. That's a lot of basics if you're in a 3-color deck, if you're trying to cast Book of Exalted Deeds. Gideon's not really a problem if we combo, but they can't cast the Temporal Trespass yet. They're never going to cast Book of Exalted Deed. So, I think we take a Gideon. Solve the equation, grab the Saw in Half, and pass the turn. We can go infinite on the next end step, potentially. Opponent. Oh, maybe they are going to get to the Book of Exalted Deeds. Opponent, Gideon, off of planes, and I mean, the book doesn't do anything unless they also have All right, gets the emblem. The bike doesn't do anything unless they also have a Mutavault. Opponent's going to discard the Temporal Trespass, kill the Goblin, sure. Well, let's flip the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Play the land untapped, and we're just going to pass. So we do need the creature on the battlefield to have something to target with the Saw in Half. This is interesting. We might be able to go for the combo here. We'll see what our opponent does. It really depends on how our opponent plays this turn. We can win through the Gideon, because if we go infinite, we just make enough creatures, we kill Gideon and kill our opponent. But, all right, opponent going to take up the Narset. And Mountain and Sunfall. Oh, so awkward. Well, we can't combo now because then everything gets Sunfalled. And we can't combo end step because there's no creature to target with the Saw in Half. We got to get this on the half on the stack before we cast the Dual Caster for anything to work. Unless they fire up their Incubate. There's not really a reason to, though, because it's summoning sick. Opponent takes up Gideon. Come on, play a creature. Play a creature. Play a creature. All right, opponent passes. Well, I guess we're going to have to play a creature of our own. Yeah, so now we need 2 more turns. That's awkward. That's the first time I've had that happen, where we have the full combo, but there's no creature on the battlefield to start it. Well, that's Pinnacle Monk. Let's get back to Thoughtseize. I mean, I still think we're in okay shape, unless our opponent's like an extra turn deck. If they just start chaining together extra turn spells, then anything could happen. We could be dead, but let's get a Black Source. Thoughtseize, yeah. I'm sorry, Flame. We got to do it. And opponent, all right, well, I guess we get rid of the Book of Exalted Deeds. Just an island in hand. Okay, so the end of next turn, in theory, we can do the thing. We could also draw Sacrifice, and we haven't done the Pinnacle Monk combo. You need Pinnacle Monk, Sacrifice, and Saw in Half. And then you, like, Pinnacle Monk, you Saw in Half it, you sacrifice, you get 2 of them, you sacrifice 1 of them to get a bunch of mana, do it again, do it again. It ends with the same result. Opponent digs up the Gideon. You just need more pieces. Opponent gonna pass. We draw a gamble. I mean, we could gamble for the Saw in Half, or for the Sacrifice, and try to go that way, but I feel like because we have the Dual Caster in hand, we should probably just pass and try to go infinite end step again. Opponent untaps. Don't Sunfall. This is exactly the position we were in last time. Opponent, okay. That's fine. Take up Gideon. That's fine. We don't need the Pinnacle Monk to do anything. We just need it to exist. It just needs to live. Found it. Okay, gonna take up the Narset to 28 life. Well, let's set the end steps up. Opponent going to Foretell. Okay, they can't cast that this turn. Could be a Doomscar, but we win next turn if this combo goes off. All right, end of turn. Well, let's do it. Saw in Half. We actually have a target this time on the Pinnacle Monk. In response, Dual Caster Mage. All right, opponent, show us that interaction. Do you have some instant speed interaction? All right, Dual Caster. Copy this on half. And blow up the Dual Caster. And all right, at this point, it's very, very impossible for us to fizzle. So 2 Saw in halves, blow up his Dual Caster. The only question now is going to be, can we make enough... Can we make enough tokens before we run out of time? Our opponent is at 28 life. This isn't a hard combo to execute, but it does require a lot of clicking. Actually, it's not even that much the clicking, it's more just like time to put all the triggers on this deck. And because we're comboing on our opponent's end step, let's hit the Pinnacle Monk, get 2 Pinnacle Monks, start getting back some random spells, like a Thoughtseize, and a Solve the Equation. Making more Pinnacle Monks, I think, is going to make it easier to win the game, just because they all have prowess. So we need less creatures to win the game with Pinnacle Monks. And let's blow up a Dual Caster Mage. And blow up a Pinnacle Monk. And make a couple Pinnacle Monks. Because we have a bunch of spells in hand, so we can just cast stuff to trigger the prowess and hopefully win that way. Blow up another Pinnacle Monk. Blow up a Pinnacle Monk. The Pinnacle Monk definitely makes it way easier. Now we'll go back to making some Dual Casters. And blow up a Dual Caster and copy the Saw in half. I'm surprised people don't scoop to this. I don't know why people, like, I don't know what they think, like, I don't know how they think they get out of this. Like, unless you're holding a Settle the Wreckage or a Fog or something, are you not just deterministically dead to infinite tokens? I love the dual caster. So the way this works on Arena, we'll see if we run into the clock at some point, but eventually we will run out of time, and then it'll just fizzle all of the triggers on the stack. So we want to make enough bodies to win the game next turn before that happens. I don't think we actually have to make that many more. We already have 20. I mean, we have to consider they could have like a lightning helix or something. I think this should be enough though, right? Blow up a Pinnacle Monk. I mean, we have a lot of 1/1 prowess creatures. Show us that answer. Show us that answer. I mean, that's the power Son have. We Son have that Pinnacle Monk a bunch of times, and now we're, oh, another Son have. Well, okay, let's start with a Thoughtseize. Trigger prowess a million times. Do one last hand check just in case. We do have to send damage at Gideon because they do have the emblem, so we do have to kill Gideon for any of this to matter. But that's fine. We have more than enough damage to do that. I mean, his combo actually seems kind of realistic. Like, it kind of seems good. Sonhaf is such a... Oh, man, I love that card. It's such a cool design. Probably my favorite part of... Oh, God, that Acorn Infinity set. Oh, I hated that set, but... Are we getting the Salty Rope from the prison deck? I don't know, but my theory is I love prison decks. I love making people not play Magic. I love Blood Moons. I love Strip Mines. You know me. That is how I like to play Magic. But my theory is if you are going to play prison decks, and if your deck is Book of Exalted Deeds, Gideon, like you're trying to kind of lock your opponent out of the game, right? A bunch of extra turn spells. If you're going to play those decks, you can't get salty when someone does it to you. You can't. You just can't get salty if you're gonna do it. So I try very hard to not get salty about prison decks, about stack stuff. Commander may be a little bit different, but in general, like, I try not to get salty about that, because if you're gonna play those decks against other people, you gotta, if you're a strip mine lover, you gotta be okay with someone strip mine locking you out of the game. Like, that's only fair and logical. I'm losing respect for you, Flame. I didn't realize that Flame was a salty roper. All right, opponent's gonna run out of time. Well, now we're gonna do a little pumpage. Get rid of the last Gideon. Solve the equation. Trigger prowess. Find ourselves, I guess, maybe Faithless Looting. I sacrifice is fine. It really doesn't matter what we do here. Gamble. Like, we have lethal. It's just a matter of casting a few spells. Gamble for... Yeah, now we'll take the Faithless Looting. Might as well. Discard the sacrifice. Sure. Well, Faithless Looting. Trigger. Yeah, having the Pinnacle Monks as part of the combo makes closing out the game so much easier. Discard the gamble. Discard the Fatal Push. Well, let's gamble again. All the monks up to 6 power. I mean, as long as our opponent can't do something with that Foretold card, which seems unlikely at this point. It's probably Doomscar. Well, one more Faithless Looting. Max out the pump. Trigger the monks. And, well, I mean, that's how you saw in half infinitely. And now we just got to make sure that we attack the Gideon a wee bit. You know what? We'll attack it. We'll attack it with 2. Actually, is 2 enough? What if they have... It should be enough. What could they have foretold that would ruin this? Yeah, you know what? We have so much damage. Let's go 3 at Gideon just to make sure. And then everything else will go phase. You know what? Let's go the Narset 2 to send a message. To send a message about the salty roping with a prison deck. I would kill the Incubate 2 if I could, but our opponent never fired it up. All right, boom. Here they come. Gideon down. Narset down. Phase about to explode, and that's how you saw an F infinitely. Gideon down, emblem off, and that looks like the game to me, and the deck's kind of working. And this hand, hey, we got the Zonaf, we got the Dualcaster Mage. All we need to do is live till we get 6 mana and have a creature on the battlefield of some kind. Someone have it. Maybe our opponent will help us with that. Let's see what the pack leader's up to. Orzhov mana, and Hopeless Nightmare. Okay. Obnoxious. Obnoxious. That was the word I was trying to say. We will discard the gamble because I don't think we're going to cast it. We don't need it. We got the combo. Opponent. Godless Shrine. White Orchid Phantom. All right. We're going to blow up the Blood Crypt. But we got plenty of basics. I guess we grab a mountain. Thankfully, White Orchid can only blow up non-basics, even more saw in halves. Well, now we got one that we can use on the White Orchid Phantom. It's so funny that saw in half reads like a removal spell, but you almost, I mean, there are like really fringe niche scenarios where it's good to use on your opponent's creatures, but in general, it is not a removal spell you want to cast on an opposing creature. Opponent, gonna Phantom us down to 16. Sure, and passes. It is worth keeping in mind, though. Well, now that we have two dual casters, even more worth keeping in mind. We can just dual... Oh, Thalia. Oh... Man, is it worth blowing up Thalia? The problem is Thalia can start blinking the Hopeless Nightmare. All the Sonhef would do, though, it would make the Thalia 1/1, and it would fade a turn of it blinking, because they're still going to have a Thalia. We don't care about them blinking White Orchid Phantom. That's fine. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. We just got to try to live. Opponent gonna blink the Hopeless Nightmare. Sure. The damage is becoming an issue. Yeah, we're gonna take it. I think there's even some argument just running out the dual caster and blocking the Thalia, but I want to get more value out of it. Found it. Bojuka Bog. Sure, that is fine. It is nice that our combo doesn't... Well, some of them care about the graveyard. The dual caster combo does not. I guess we get rid of a dual caster. Down to 10. Opponent passes. That's a land. I mean, okay, so we get to go infinite next turn. So we take 5, 6, 7, and then 2 from... I mean, technically it's just enough, right? So they blink the Hopeless Nightmare. We take... Oh, no, but we got to crack the fetch. There's still a way we can do it. There's still a way we can do it. Okay, this is going to get wonky. There is a way. This on... Oh, Flicker Wisp. Wait, does this ruin it? Oh, Flicker Wisp might ruin it. Oh, I think Flicker Wisp does ruin it. Oh, that's so funny. They're going to blink the White Orchid Phantom. Sure, that doesn't matter. So we're going to go to 2, because we have to crack the fetch. The Hopeless Nightmare comes back. We pitch one of the Sonhefs. They get back the White Orchid Phantom. It blows up something. We don't care. We get a basic. So what we need to do, and I don't think it works now because of the Flicker Wisp in specific, but let me show you what we can do here, because it's actually pretty cute. It's actually pretty cute that this was going to save us. So what we can do is, remember, every time we go through the loop, yeah, we got to crack it. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because Flicker Wisp has 3 power anyway. So remember, every time we... Another Sonhef. Remember, every time we go through the loop, we get 2 copies of Sonhef, and we only need 1 of them to copy the Dual Caster Mage. So we can combo during combat during our opponent's turn. We can not only go infinite on our end, but we can blow up all of our opponent's creatures. They are going to get a copy of them, but they're going to be summoning sick, so they can't attack this turn. So it fizzles the damage for 1 turn, and then we win with infinite tokens. The problem with this plan, and the reason it's not going to work, is the Flicker Wisp. Like, we can't take the hit from Flicker Wisp, so we have to blow it up. But if we blow up the Flicker Wisp, our opponent's going to get 2 Flicker Wisps, which they can't attack this turn, which is fine, but they can blink the Hopeless Nightmare, and then we take exactly 2 and end up with Xaxes. So if they didn't have the Flicker Wisp, we go infinite. We essentially fog the attack by blowing up all our opponent's creatures. Yes, they're going to get copies of them, but it doesn't actually matter because we're going to win with our infinite creatures next turn. But that Flicker Wisp ETB trigger means that it doesn't actually matter, which I guess means I don't think there's any way our opponent can mess this up, honestly. Like, there's no, yeah, we can't get rid of the Hopeless Nightmare. We hit the Flicker Wisp, the copy blinks Hopeless Nightmare. There's no way they can actually mess it up. So, well, almost. Oh, man, that was so close. Man, if we had blocked with that dual caster, maybe. And let's see what we're up against this time. We're going to be on the play. This hand, sure. I mean, no Sonhef, but we got a little bit of interaction. We got the dual caster mage, so we have half of the combo. Plus the Faithless Looting can do a little bit of digging to help us find our Sonhef. Flicker Wisp is actually another new to Arena card. And Flicker Wisp, I love Flicker Wisp. It's such a cool card. Nostalgic. It's one of those like old cards that still kind of holds up today. Maybe not as much. One toughness is a little rough these days, but still, like, it holds up pretty well. Now let's lead on the Dark Slick. Well, actually, yeah, let's Dark Slick Shores. And Thoughtseize. What are we working with over there? Ooh, okay. So some sort of Enchantress-y auras deck. Well, I think we just take the Utopia Sprawl to slow things down. Opponent only has one creature as a Destiny Spinner. We can get it with a Fatal Push. So in theory, this might make it so our opponent can't do anything for quite a while. Ugh. Not the best Faithless Looting I've ever seen. Yeah, I guess we get rid of Mizraim's Village, Ardent Elementalist, opponent land, and Destiny Spinner. Do we kill it now? Yeah, I guess we can wait. We can probably get more value if we wait. Ooh, Sacrifice. Well, let's just play Pinnacle Monk tapped. Yeah, we're not gonna play as a creature, I don't think. Let's play a tap, pass the turn. So now we wait until our opponent plays, like, I don't know, some sort of aura. Weaver of Harmony, okay. Pumps the Destiny Spinner. All right, there's the Ethereal Armor, and now we will Fatal Push. Gotta get the 2-for-1 when you can. Opponent passes, sure. Well, that's just Faithless Looting. We need to find, well, there is a bunch of Fable the Mirror Breakers. Let's pitch a land in one of the Fables. Kind of want to hold on to the Sacrifice, because I feel like that can do some explosive things. Plus, it opens up the secondary combo. Opponent, Utopia Sprawl. On the Forest, and, well, they can't even Ancestral Mask. All that, wow, they have all the Ethereal Armor effects, down to 13. Ugh, all right, little bit heavy on the sacrifices. Kind of wish we had discarded the sacrifice now and held on to the land. I mean, we could still just go infinite next turn. Opponent, Blossoming Sands, Cheaty Land, up to 21, and Fear of Surveillance, okay. Get in for 6. Well, we are going to take the beats. Yeah, down to 7. Ooh, Saw in Half. That is kind of huge. All right, pitch the sacrifices. Oh my god, we didn't hit a land. Oh! Oh no. Okay, that makes things hard. If we sacrifice a token, we get 0 mana. So we can attack with the goblin to make a treasure to get to 5 mana, but we're 1 mana short. Man, now I think we have to gamble for a Fatal Push, but this risks ruining our combo. Oh, yeah, I mean, we gotta do it though. Okay, thank goodness, Magic Gods. We discard the Sacrifice, which is the card that we needed the least. So now what we can do, we can attack with the Goblin. If our opponent blocks, we kill the Weaver and we get to kill the Fear of Surveillance. If our opponent doesn't block, all right, opponent's going to block. This worked out perfectly. Get rid of the Weaver. Also get rid of the Fear of Surveillance. And now all we need is a mana. All we need is a mana. And we get to go infinite. Ooh, Jukai Naturalist, okay. Oh, we really need that land. I mean, I guess we can chump for a turn. Found it. Gonna blow up our Darkslick Shores. That's fine. That's fine. We got basics. I guess we just grab the island since we don't have any blue. All right, land. Another Saw in Half. Aw. Now I wish we had a sacrifice. This keeps going just wrong in so many different ways. At first it felt wrong to hold on to the sacrifice. Now it feels wrong to have not held on to the sacrifice. Bone it. Ancestral Mask on the Naturalist. Sure. We gotta do something. I mean, I guess we can Saw in Half it. That's not great, but yeah, Saw in Half. Now you get 2 of them, but we take 0 damage this turn. See, we're helping. We're Group Hug. Bone it passes. Man, if we could just get 1 more mana, this would be so much easier. So we can play the Cormella. If the Cormella lives, that gives us the mana to go off next turn. Okay. So hopefully we can just chump block with the Reflection, keep the Cormella. Its mana lets us finally combo. We will block. We will drop to 3. Opponent goes up to 29. Oh, that's a lot of comboing. Okay, Fear of Surveillance. So we're good to combo. Can we do enough before we run out of time? Is like, oh, this is going to be an interesting combo. All right, so Carmella makes 3 mana, only for spells. Saw in Half. We're going to do this main phase. Saw in Half the Cormella. Because I think we can also get back infinite spells from our graveyard, so we might be able to, like... Yeah, this is going to get wild. This is gonna be a wild combo. Okay, so Dual Caster. Blow up the Dual Caster, start the loop. So let's make some Dual Casters first. Eventually what we can start doing is using one of the Saw in Halves to blow up the Carmella to get back 2 spells from the graveyard. That can get back sacrifices to make mana. It can get back fatal pushes. So I think we have infinite mana here. We have infinite mana. We have infinite removal. So I think we just combo make a huge board, blow up all of our opponent's stuff. Oh, this is going to be one of the sweetest combos yet. Blow up all of our opponent's creatures. Then we just pass and we're like, all right, you got 0 cards in hand. If you can somehow, some way, find 3 damage in your Selesnya deck with 0 cards in hand in a 1 draw step, then I guess you got us, but they shouldn't be able to. All right, so keep making dual casters for now. Oh, man, the mana from Carmella actually ended up being relevant. Carmella is interesting. If it wasn't legendary, it's just a one-of. If it wasn't legendary, it would go infinite in the deck. As it is, it's like a value-y card slash ramp card slash gets back a combo piece if we need it card. Funny enough, being legendary is like a huge downside. All right, let's blow up a Carmella. Get 2 Carmella triggers. Only keep 1 because it's legendary. Get back a sacrifice to make some mana. Get back a battle at the bridge. And we can still do this all at instant speed. Blow up the Carmella. Get 2 more Carmellas. Only keep 1 Carmella. Get back a battle at the bridge, a fatal push, and another sacrifice. So now we go back to blowing up dual casters. This deck's so sweet. Sawn Half, man, Sawn Half is a great card. It is such a cool design. Oh god, full control. All right, yeah, full control makes us way slower, but we want to start sacrificing. All right, Sawn Half, yes. So let's make Carmella mana. Then we can use the Sawn Half on the Carmella. Get 2 more Carmellas. Keep 1 of the Carmellas. Get back sacrifice. Get back gamble. Blow up a dual caster mage. Carmella's mana only being for spells also keeps it from just like going infinite mana by itself, since we can't just keep tapping it with its own mana. But with sacrifice, we can convert the Carmella mana into real mana. Oh, man, we got that opponent gaining life. Like, it doesn't beat us, but it does make his combo a lot longer. All right, so sacrifice a dual caster mage. Make 3 mana. Use that 3 mana to fatal push a Jukai Naturalist. Get that out of here. The fatal push Jukai Naturalist. Get that out of here. And this is all still mid combo. We are still going infinite. Sawn Half, blow up a dual caster, get 2 dual casters. And yeah, dual caster. Blow it up. So now we can blow up the Carmella. Sacrifice a dual caster. Make a bit of mana. Get 2 Carmellas. I'm amazed our opponent's sitting through this. Get back the fatal push. Get back a sacrifice. And blow up a dual caster. And okay, do we get a chance to fatal push? All right, hang on, full control. There we go. Fatal push, get rid of the fear of surveillance. And now we just need to make, let's see. I mean, we're getting there. We just need enough power to actually win the game next turn. Just so we don't give our opponent 2 draw steps. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So we need 7-ish more. 7-ish more dual casters. We can also, I guess, get back more spells if we need to at the end of this, to have like fatal pushes and so forth left over. All right, 19. We're getting close. Dual caster. Sawn Half. Dual caster. Sawn Half. Some of these cards, like Sawn Half, man, it makes me wish they were legal in Modern. It's so funny. Like, I go both ways, I guess. Like, on one hand, there's some, like, commander cards and unset cards that I'm like, oh, it'd be so cool to have legal in Modern. And I really like getting to try them on Arena because I've never got to play them in constructed formats before. But then I hear Legacy players talk about how having those cards legal in their format, like, not Saw in Half, Saw in Half's fine, but like a lot of the commander cards, seems like longtime Legacy players think they've been a negative for their format, so then I'm like, I don't know, Modern's already so Modern Horizon-y, I don't know if it matters. Alright, so now, we need to blow up Carmella a bunch of times, because we will just keep looping dual casters forever. This is probably going to end with us timing out, actually, which I guess is fine. We're going to time out. We have lethal next turn. We get back all the spells. And then once we time out, then all of the triggers are going to fizzle for some reason. It's kind of funny. In theory, if we combo in the only creature on the battlefield that we have as a dual caster mage, we could find ourselves in an infinite loop that never ends. Because we have to target something, and dual caster has to copy something. But it doesn't actually draw the game on Arena, because on Arena, instead, eventually we would time out, when in reality that situation in paper would end up actually drawing the game. All right, blow up the Carmella, blow up the Carmella. Opponent, thank you, I guess, for sitting through this. I actually think we should have more of a norm of scooping on Arena, but when it comes to against odds combos, it is kind of nice that some opponents sit through it. All right, blow up the Carmella. We still have so many triggers on the stack. All right, and now Arena will do the rest. Fizzle the rest of the triggers. We're out of time. But we built a lethal board of dual casters, and we killed our opponent's entire board, and we could have made infinite mana along the way if we wanted to. What do you got? An opponent scoops it up, and that went pretty well. Saw in Half. Kind of busted. But this hand is pretty good. A Fable and a Carmella. All right. Yes. It's our go, opponent. Let us decide if the hand's keepable. Oh my God. Chill. Oh my God, opponent. Well, Mystic Peak, go. Hello, opponent. It's actually your go now. That is not even a truthful emote. Well, Tabland, go. Opponent, Plains, and Rune of Sustenance on the land. Okay. No idea what's going on over there, but let's play a Fable of the Miobrega. We need to find Pinnacle Monk plus Sacrifice. Oh, it's a Light Pause deck. We need to find Pinnacle Monk plus Sacrifice or Dual Caster. I think we actually discard a Saw in Half. And maybe one of the lands. Let's keep 2 Saw in Halves just in case. Draw even more Saw in Halves. Goblin. If our opponent has some like flash protection aura, I think we're okay with that. Alright, opponent takes the beats. Well, Blood Crypt untapped. Yeah, let's just solve the... I think we're going to solve the equation for a Fatal Push. It feels that we've had to tutor for some pretty bad cards. But I think we need a way to kill the Light Pause. Sadly, since it solved the equation, our opponent knows about it. They could very well have protection, and we can't really do anything about that. Opponent, Knight's Pledge. Okay, well, Fatal Push? Knight's Pledge. Shard Mages. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. As long as it's an aura and you're putting it on Light Pause, it's going to be kind of busted. Shard Mages Rescue. Hexproof gets Ethereal Armor. That Light Pause is getting scary. And a Sheltered by Ghost going to hit the Fable. We need to draw a Dual Caster Mage. And we need to draw it now-ish. I mean, we're taking 14 here. Down to 4. Opponent goes to... oh my God, that's Dual Caster. Here's what we got to do. Oh boy. We got a combo during combat. So we could just Saw in Half the Light Pause, but then they get another Light Pause, and they could still have protection because of the treasure. I think what we have to do, get in with a Goblin, make a token. When our opponent goes to combat, we Saw in Half, Dual Caster, make infinite Dual Casters, use the infinite Dual Casters to block the Light Pause, kill the Light Pause, and then hopefully have enough left over that we can win the game on the backswing. The challenge here is definitely going to be time, because we're going to need at least, oh man, we're going to need like 50. We're going to need like 50 Dual Casters, because this thing has first strike, right? So we're going to need like 30 power. Oh, Sheltered by Ghost. Okay. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. We can still target the light pause with the saw in half. We can't pay for the ward and combo, but we can still target it to start the combo. You're gonna, well, okay, opponent, gonna get another aura, gonna get rid of the goblin. Sure. Well, here goes nothing. Opponent combat attacks with a mighty, mighty light pause. Well, here goes nothing. Saw in half on the light pause. We cannot pay the ward, or we're not going to pay the ward, but it puts the saw in half on the stack. Yes, yes, you get a million ward triggers. No, not another saw in half. There we go. Dual caster mage. All right, so now we go infinite. Let's see if this actually works. Lauren's escape. Hexproof and indestructible. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is so funny. Remember how I was telling you a couple of games ago how in paper you can end up in a situation where the game would draw, but that doesn't happen on Arena because you just run out of time? I think we're getting the reverse of that now. So we can't target the light pause because it now has hexproof. We have to target something with the saw in half. So we have to target the dual caster. The dual caster has to copy something. None of this is May abilities. So we, in paper right now, this game would actually end in a draw. Like, we have to just keep making dual caster mages forever. So the game would just keep doing that, and we'd draw the game because the game can't progress. On Arena, though, we're actually going to die because of that. Because what's going to happen is we're just going to keep making dual casters till we run out of time. And then once we run out of time, it's not going to let us block with all the dual caster tokens. So this is, wow. Usually it works the other way, where it's like, oh, if we were in paper, this would have been a draw. But because Arena times us out, we actually end up winning. I mean, this doesn't come up very often, but I think that's the more likely way for that to happen. If we combo with just a dual caster. Yeah. Well, we had a good plan, but Lauren's escape is going to do it for our opponent. Yeah. Keep on sawing and ab. Keep on sawing and ab. What a hilarious situation. Yeah, I mean, when Infinite Dualcaster Mage is not enough. We're stuck in a loop, and the loop ends with us losing the game. I mean, I guess there's no, I know how this ends. Like, we can't target the light pause. Like, I know how it ends. I know how it works, so I guess we just scoop it up. I was not expecting that to happen, but interesting way to, this deck leads to some interesting ways to win and apparently lose games. Stand looks fine. We got the dual caster. Get a sacrifice. I feel like it's kind of funny. I was thinking we were going to combo with sacrifice way more often, and we have had some games where sacrifice has been really good. We saw that like game where we got to kill our opponent's entire board by looping the Carmella and the sacrifice, blah, blah, blah. But we haven't actually comboed Storm Chaser's talent. We haven't actually comboed with sacrifice all that much. Like, it really has. Almost all of our combos have been dual caster based. I don't know what our opponent's up to. Well, land and go. Also, like, dual caster is kind of just a fine card because we can just copy our opponent's spells. Opponent, Storm Chaser's talent. I feel like dual caster is kind of underrated. Opponent hits us down to 18. Well, let's play a Schwamp and get down the Fable of the Mia Breaker. And pass the turn. We still need to find the Saw in half. Also, we do have to be aware. Opponent, Temple of Enlightenment. Counter spells can fizzle it, right? That is possible. Sapphire Medallion. What is happening? Sapphire Medallion. Okay, about it. Gonna beat us down. We will take it down to 14. Black Cleave Cliffs. Well, let's pitch a land and pitch a land. Draw a couple cards. Okay, there's the Saw in half. So next turn we can try to go infinite. I'll get and hit you. Let's Faithless Looting. I wouldn't mind finding like a Thought Seize. A Thought Seize would be nice just to know what we're dealing with. Do we have to play around a counter? Okay, there's a Thought Seize. That is good. Well, let's pitch a land. And I think we're just going to take the beats from the creatures and trust that infinite dual casters is going to stop the beatdowns. Let's Thought Seize you. Oh, God. Extra turn, Midnight Clock. Bad Jace. Okay. Well, now we know what our opponent's doing. They're a turns deck. Oh, that's actually hilarious. So one thing we haven't seen with this combo is, remember how every time we go through the loop, we get 2 dual casters, but we only need 1 to copy the saw in half? This also means that if we have the combo set up, we can technically combo in response to our opponent casting a spell or us casting a spell and copy that spell an infinite number of times too. So we might be able to wait until our opponent casts an extra turn spell and then copy their extra turn spell infinite times to take infinite turns. I guess they would still get the first extra turn because of how this deck would resolve. But we can actually just stack up like infinite extra turns. Yeah, we're gonna play the land of tap down to 6. Come on, is our opponent gonna go for it? Are we gonna get infinite turns? Opponent land. Come on. Yes. Part the water pail. Okay. Well, here we go. Here we go. Saw in half. One of the. I guess it doesn't really matter. Sure. Reflections of Kiki Jiki. Let's blow it up. We could use more of those. All right. Check this out. Dual caster mage. So good. So good. Copy the saw in half. Now we have 2 triggers. So blow up the dual caster mage. We get 2 dual caster triggers. One of those is going to copy the part the water fail. The other one is going to copy the saw in half. The saw in half going to blow up the dual caster mage. 2 dual casters. Yeah, we should do it the other order. Yeah, saw in half, part the water veil. Now the part the water veil actually resolves. So we have an extra turn coming. Blow up the dual caster mage. Copy the part the water veil. Copy the saw in half. I guess the order actually really doesn't matter. Blow it up. So we have 3 extra turns that are coming. I guess that's probably enough, right? We could have 100 extra turns. But remember, like I said, our opponent's going to get the first extra turn. So they are still going to get the next extra turn. But if they ever pass the turn, then we are going to take a million turns in a row. All right. So now we just make a ton of side. I love this deck. This deck just does funny things. Where else are you going to have the opportunity to infinitely copy your opponent's extra turn spell? And you could do this with any spell. You could, I mean, I guess the funny part is, like, in some sense it doesn't matter because we're making infinite creatures and those are what's going to win us the game. But you could, like, your opponent lightning bolts your face and you combo in response and just immediately win with direct damage. Or just take all the part the water veils. Well, let's keep blowing stuff up. Keep blowing stuff up. I guess, yeah, it probably makes sense to make more goblins. One of the things I finally realized, now that I've played a million games with this deck, is if you stack the triggers in a logical way, and you have another creature, you can keep from building up that huge stack. The stack's a little bit more manageable. If you have the first one blow up something else, so it actually resolves, and then the second one hits the dual caster mage, as we're doing here, we're not ending up with a million dual caster mage triggers on the stack, which is just a little bit easier with timing out purposes. It actually lets us manage the clock a little bit better, which is, I guess, the biggest challenge of this deck on arenas. I mean, we haven't timed out. Well, we have timed out, but we haven't timed out in a way that would cause us to lose the game. Other than that game we had with the where we got stuck in the loop against the indestructible light paws. What a weird deck. Well, blow up some goblins. I think this has gotta be enough. There's no way. Even if our opponent untaps and takes an extra turn, how does that work? So we're gonna have 3 extra. Oh my god. So we're gonna have 3 extra turn spells resolve. They're gonna have theirs resolve after ours. So they're gonna get the extra turn. Then we're gonna have 3 extra turns. If they untap and cast another extra turn, I don't even know. We're gonna find out. All right, make some reflections of Kiki Jiki. Make a bunch of goblins. Make a bunch of dual casters. Pass the turn, I guess. Back to our opponent's extra turn. Midnight Clock takes up. About it. Can you beat our infiniteness? Thank you for the extra turns, by the way. About it. Invoke the winds to seal a dual caster. Trigger some prowess. Sure. And gonna go attacking. Well, I mean, we might as well block. We are at 4. Block. About it. Would you like to give us a bunch of turns in a row? About it. passes. Midnight clock ticks up. Well, we have 4 turns coming. I don't think we're going to need all of them. And opponent scoops it up and, well, that's how you can take infinite turns with Saw in Half. What a deck, what a deck, what a deck. So what did we learn this week about Saw in Half combo? And the deck actually worked surprisingly well. We went 9-4 for a very nice 69% win rate, but the deck actually just felt really good. Although I will say, it turns out the Dual Caster Mage combo way more likely to come up in practice than the Pinnacle Monk combo. I would say like 80+% of the time that we comboed, it was with Dual Caster Mage, and the other like 10 or 20%, that would be the Pinnacle Monk combos. So it is way more likely to be Dual Caster Mage, although I guess that makes sense considering Dual Caster Mage with Saw in Half is really just a 2-card combo. Pinnacle Monk, you need the extra sacrifice on top of having the Saw in Half and the Pinnacle Monk. But the combo in general, it felt very effective. Like, it's actually not that hard to set up. We have a ton of tutors. We're actually an oddly effective gamble deck because we have so many ways of getting things back from our graveyard with all of our Pinnacle Monks and Cormellas and Ardent Elementalists and whatnot that we actually don't mind like gambling for a Saw in Half and then discarding it because we're like, yeah, we're just going to get it back anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So we're a really good gamble deck. We have a ton of ways to set our combo up. I will say the weirdest part about this combo is just how it works on Magic Arena. So there are weird scenarios with this deck where we have everything to do the combo, but you can't do it because some weird fringe condition is not met. I think the biggest example of this is we had a couple of games, at least one, maybe two, where we had everything we needed to go infinite, but we couldn't start the loop because there was no creature on the battlefield to cast the initial Saw in Half on, and we need to have something to target with the Saw in Half to get it on the stack before we play the Dual Caster Mage and start the loop, or the thing doesn't work. So sometimes if we're against like a creature-free control deck or whatever, it gets a little awkward. Like we have to play another creature to target with the Saw in Half. We can't trust our opponent to do it. So that's one weird quirk. The other weird quirk of this combo is it can be a draw the game combo. If you just have Dual Caster Mage and Saw in Half going and you're doing the loop and there's no other creatures on the battlefield somehow to target, then you'll just do that literally forever, except not on Magic Arena. In paper, that would just draw the game, but on Arena, eventually you time out, and when you time out, it just fills the entire stack. So we had that one really weird game where our opponent had, I think it was a Light Pause on the battlefield. We cast the Saw in Half to start the combo. We cast the Dual Caster Mage to copy the Saw in Half, and then our opponent was like, all right, I'm going to play Lorn Escape on my Light Pause to make the Light Pause indestructible and give it hexproof. So then we couldn't target it with the Saw in Half anymore. So we got stuck in this weird loop where we would just keep making more Dual Caster Mages again and again and again, because Dual Caster Mage must copy something, Saw in Half must blow something up, and if there's nothing else to target, we gotta just keep hitting the Dual Caster Mage, which copies the Saw in Half, and normally this would end up winning us the game on Arena, but in that scenario, we needed like blockers, so it ended up losing the game. So there are just some really weird fringe situations in this deck. Also, Sacrifice is a really interesting card. I feel like Sacrifice, we got to see it do some crazy things in this deck. Not most games, but we had some games where we like set up loops where we could get infinite spells back from our graveyard to our hand as we were comboing, and we like would use Sacrifice to make mana, and then we could infinitely Fatal Push to kill our opponent's entire board. So the deck just does some absolutely hilarious, ridiculous things. So I love Saw in Half. If you like comboing in weird ways and just strange rules situations that really don't come up with any other decks, because this deck is just such a unique deck and Saw in Half is such a unique card, Saw in Half combo actually seems like kind of an oddly effective way to win some games of Historic. But anyway, that's Saw in Half combo. That's our deck for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.